Hey guys, welcome in. It is Brad with College SportsCast, and we are here tonight to do our weekend wrap-up show on an off day
All right,
after
Skylar, go to the
the
bed.
college football playoff championship.
Thank you. I know you ain't on your phone.
We executed.
I heard a fan offer free Dippin' Dots if I blew it.
Wanted to have some fun, execute.
I had bombs.
Stay as a team, execute, give 100%.
Dippin' Dots sound good.
All right, guys, welcome back. It is Brad with College SportsCast. I got somebody on with me that hadn't been on all season long. What's up, Jason Harrison? What's going on, man?
Man, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? Just, man, living life. Man, a whole lot of things going on, but I'm just like anybody else. Life be life.
Well, man, it's good to have you on. Jason was with us last year. Probably joined us somewhere around the 1st of December, around somewhere around there last year, I think, and was on all the way through with me until I completed the baseball season. Like at the end of June, he was on with me. And then he has some kids and playing sports and all kinds of stuff going on in life. So he's just now joining us back. Jason is an ex-Ole Miss point guard. Graduated in 03, is that right?
02.
02. Damn. I was close.
You was close.
I was close. All right. 02. I'm sorry. I missed it by 1 year. But Jason is ex-Ole Miss point guard, and we are glad to have him back on the show. So, but I just wanted to give him his props. Anything you want to promote or anything you want to say or anything, I'll give you the platform. Here you go, man.
Well, man, I don't think I have too much to promote. I'm just glad to finally be back. Man, it's been a long journey, man. I done moved. Man, I've been doing so much, man. Like you said, been chasing these kids around, and man, it's finally started to slow down. I got my wife walking around here looking at me crazy, like laughing, like making googly eyes at me, trying to get me to laugh because it's funny. Like I got so much going on, and but it's a pleasure to be back. You know what? I miss talking about all the college football, the Ole Miss. I mean, this is the 1 year I had to really talk about.
You did pretty good last year when you come on.
Man, pretty good, man. We had a pretty good year, man. Probably gonna have an even better year next year. So yeah, I hate missing talking, but it's my time of the year. And man, look, it's basketball season. It's conference season at that. All the non-conference and early preseason matchups and things like that are out the way. So, man, looking forward to this January, February, March. And so this is going to be a good time.
Well, we appreciate you being back. Jason is going to join us when we do our Sundays and Tuesday shows. So he will be with us from here on out. I did switch this show up. This is usually the show I do on Sundays, but because of the championship game being Monday night, I didn't want to do the weekend wrap-up show and then not, include the championship game on Monday night. So I actually switched it up. We got Hammonds in here. I just want to say Hammonds is not feeling too great the last 4 or 5 days. He's got strep throat and sounds terrible. And so hopefully Hammonds is better in the next couple of days.
Big Hammonds, man, get well, man, get well. I know I talked to him. What was that? I think a couple of days ago. And so man,
Yeah.
he gets well soon.
Did he sound all like congested and everything? When you
no, he didn't. But a common cold or anything can strike at any time. So it might have hit him the next day.
The last 2 or 3 days, man, he's been all messed up or whatever. So, but we're here. I got Jason with me tonight. We're going to do our weekend wrap-up show. And the first thing I want to talk about, and it should be rolling on the bottom of the screen as it goes through there. But go to homefieldapparel.com, and they have brand new Michigan 2023 National Championship shirts dropped this morning. There are 6 different ones. You can get a hoodie. You can get T-shirts. There are 6 different ones that dropped this morning. Go to homefieldapparel.com and use our code CSCast. If you use our code, we will get a little credit for that, and you will get 15% discount off of some brand new Michigan National Championship shirts from last night. So that's pretty cool to offer here at College SportsCast for you guys. So I wanted to get that in right off the bat. I also, on my Twitter account, Brad CSCast, it's there on the screen. There's a link on a post, and you can use that link as well to go to Homefield Apparel and get your brand new 2023 Michigan National Championship shirts. So with that said, Jason, we're going to start out with the national championship game last night. Did you get to watch?
I actually did get to watch. Me and my son. He was actually pulling for Washington, but I kept telling him Michigan, they were bullies. They had a bully offensive line, they had a bully defensive line, and I knew that they was going to put a ton of pressure on the quarterback from Washington, and they really get out to him. They kind of rattled him because some of the throws he normally made throughout the year, he was just missing them. Like he missed good opportunities.
I actually thought, of course, the first quarter, if you really want to dig into the game, the first quarter, Washington did not look good. Their defense didn't look good. It wasn't their offense. It was the defense. Donovan Edwards basically hit the hole closed, and he bounced it to the outside and was just gone twice.
You got to have that backside help.
He hit the hole closed. It wasn't there, and he just bounced it to the outside just quick like a cat and was gone twice.
Yeah.
But to give Washington all the credit in the world, at the end of the first quarter, after that, for most of that game until late in the fourth quarter, Washington hung in there, played a great game, I thought. For most of the game, kept them in the game. The next 2 quarters, 2.5, I just didn't think that Washington's offense was hitting on all cylinders last night. And they're towards the end in the late third quarter or something like that. I think Penix got dinged up, got hurt. Every time he was gutting it out, but every time he got hit or threw the ball, he was grimacing, holding his hip, or it was either his hip or his ribs. I'm not real sure what it was, but before all that, there were a couple of throws that if Penix hits those throws, it's a completely different game last night.
It is. And that's why I give Michigan defense a lot of credit. They were in his face. They collapsed the pocket. Their defensive line, come on now.
Yeah.
Their defensive line was was clicking on all stuff. They
They
were
hit
playing
him
like
a
they were
lot.
trying to
They
get
didn't get a
drafted.
lot of sacks, but they hit him a lot.
They hit him a lot. And all you have to do is hit a quarterback. The more and more you hit a quarterback, the more and more you come close to the quarterback, it does something to his
But I
psychological
mean,
clock.
even the start of the fourth quarter, it was 20-13. Washington had the ball, and there was about 11 minutes to go, something like that in the game. 11:22, I think, when they took over, if I remember right. And Washington hits a play to Odunez down the field, and is going to be in scoring position. All right, and they're only down 7 at that point. And I'm going to have to say, man, there was a really, really bad holding call on that play.
Yeah.
I just, to me, it was not holding at all. And it was a bad call. And I think that just took all the steam out of, because Washington had gotten close 2 or 3 times before that. Penix had missed a couple of throws. He had Adunez wide open earlier in the game. And, I mean, it was a clear touchdown. And he just overthrew him by a yard. And they had several chances. And when that happened, and they called holding, and they had to go back 5-10 yards, whatever it is, and go behind the sticks and they lost 42 yards on that play.
Yeah. That was a big play. That was a big play. And I agree
with you. They lost 42 yards on that play. And after that, the game was over. I mean, Michigan scored 2 touchdowns to close the game out. The game looked like, the final score looked way worse than what the game actually was.
You're right. You're right about that.
If you ask me.
You're right. I think the injury to the running back, number 7, is his last name Johnson.
Dylan Johnson was hurt all game.
Dylan Johnson. I think that really, really hurt, especially having him being a threat out the backfield, blocking him playing all 3 downs. I said, I just think it was very unfortunate because you want to be playing your best, and you want everybody to be healthy. Because
you have to give Michigan credit, okay? I mean, I'm not saying that Michigan played. I mean, it's not just last night either. I mean, Michigan had that kind of a defense all year long.
Bullies. That's what I call them. They were bullies.
Yeah, I mean, they had that kind of defense all year long. However, I will say this. I thought Washington held up with them really well. And if they hit 2 or 3 of those plays that they normally were hitting, it's a different ball game.
I'll say this. That interception at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, when he got hurt, I think that really, really, they lost momentum because they was coming in from scoring, and then they was receiving the ball in the second half, and then that interception killed the momentum.
That hurt.
Even though
hurt, but they still traded field goals with them. They held them to a field goal.
I understand it, but just think if you go down and score, and then you give your chance the defense to hold up, and you get the ball back. See, game of inches right there. The defensive back was juggling the ball as it was, and he made the catch. You know what I'm saying? Now you wish the wide receiver just would have got a pass interference call and went from there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That interception, which was a tip, and and he catches it up underneath at the ground. I mean, it was a great play by the Michigan guy to even make that interception. And it was a big play in the game because Washington had scored to close the first half and cut it to 17-10, and then got the ball first. And if they could have come down and put some points on the board without Michigan scoring, it would have made it a different game as well. So I myself, I was kind of pulling for Washington as well. I had been pulling for Washington. I've been on Washington's side all year. We'd done our game day pick'ems here all year. I had been on pulling for Washington and picking Washington all year. They'd been coming through for me. I stayed with them, even though I said that my heart with what was going on, it was a Pac-12 thing. I felt like, nothing would be greater for the Pac-12 to go out with a Washington win. And the way things fell for the Pac-12, that was part of it as well, for me. But my head said Michigan was probably going to win this game.
Yeah. If I was a betting man,
I didn't bet it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I was a betting man, I would have bet Michigan.
Yeah.
I would bet Michigan.
Yeah. I agree with you. If I had to put actual money on it, I mean, if it was $5, I might have bet Washington. But
you could get the FanDuel or whatever site. You buy DraftKings or something. Man, look here.
Yeah.
That was the easy bet.
Well, I'm just saying, if I was only dropping $5, I might have picked Washington just to see, But now, if you're telling me I'm going to drop $100 bill or, a couple of $100 or something, I'm going to pick Michigan. And as far as betting, there's just no way.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
But they deserved it. They, like I say,
the game was close through 3.5 quarters. It was 20-13 with about 9 or 10 minutes to go in the game. And then, of course, Blake Corum scores 2 late touchdowns. Fitting for him to get his 2 touchdowns after about 130 or 40-yard day to get his 2 touchdowns. That's what he does, is score touchdowns. He's the all-time leader in touchdowns scored for Michigan. Then the final score, of course, was 34-13 last night. Michigan wins the 2023 national championship game. Now, let me ask you this, Jason. Do you feel that Georgia should have been in this and that they should have had to go through Georgia?
Man, I was just about to say that. I would have loved to see Michigan go against that stout Georgia defense. I mean, look, that matchup would have been perfect. Michigan against Georgia. You talking about 2 bullies? Alabama just made the plays, and Alabama looked shook against Michigan. So yeah, I would have loved him seeing that. I would have loved him seeing that. I would have.
So this was the last time that we will see a 4-team playoff. Last night was the last game for a 4-team playoff that we will ever see. And I, for one, am greatly appreciative. I can't wait for here on out to have the 12-team playoff. I really can't. I mean, I think that is what is going to, you don't have to leave Florida State out. You don't have to leave Georgia out. Now, people are going to say, well, you're going to leave out the 12 and the 13 and the 14 team. I don't care about the 12 and the 14 team. I don't care. But I do care about the 1 loss and the no loss teams that are at the top. I think they all should be in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If
you're telling me that the 13th place team is going to cry and they got 3 losses, I'm really not all that, I'm not worried about that. If you got 3 losses and you're the next team out and you're 13 and you don't get in, Go to the house. Go to your bowl. I don't care. I don't want to hear your cry because it doesn't matter. But I do think when you have power conference champions with 0 losses or 1 loss, and you go through all the season, I think they should be in.
I agree. I feel like it should have been at least the top 8 this year. I think they should have went from 4-8 to the 12. You see what I'm saying? And then the committee would have got it right. All of the top 8 teams would have been in there, and it would have been no shadow of a doubt. You could have cut a bowl game or 2 to make sure, because look what happened to the Georgia-Florida State game. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
those guys.
We talked about it here, man. That was a sad representation. I've already voiced what I thought about what Florida State did.
But you can't blame them. You can't blame the kids. You can't blame the kids.
I don't know, man. You got to have some kind of competitive spirit about you, man. I mean,
no, you do not.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. No, you do not.
Yes, you do, man. I don't agree with you.
Brad, I'm going to ask you a question. You know how I feel about this. I'm a component of the kids. Those kids have invested 3 to 4 years of their lives. Now, you got to understand this. Football is and
they still had a shot,
but
going undefeated.
Well,
win the bowl, they still had a shot going undefeated. They still had a shot at being number 1 in the AP.
It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered.
And you do nothing. You just give up. I mean, I just don't.
I understand, because you're looking at it from a fan standpoint. I'm looking at it from a player standpoint. Okay, I've given this university 3 to 4 years.
I've played too, not at that level.
No, but what I'm saying is,
I don't have that give up in me. I just don't. I don't have it.
Me and you both. But what we can't do is expect for the kids to think like we do, or have our mindset. You see what I'm saying? Like, if they would have went 13-0.
I can't, Jason, when it comes down to that, man, I cannot agree. I cannot agree. It's not in me. I cannot agree with giving up like that.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have every right to feel that way, because from a competitive nature, yes, I agree. You're going to compete. I'm a competitor.
Hell yeah. I'm telling you, Jason.
But we not in those times. We not in those times no more, Brad. It's all about
old school, dude. I'm old.
You're old school living
man. We strapped the shit up and went on. That's what we did.
Exactly. Well, guess what? Now you had concussions. CT. Now these players, football ain't football no more. You know it.
I'm just saying. We're gonna move on, but I'm telling you, I don't do the give up. I just don't.
I'm just saying, because it was less. Because if we finished undefeated, we're still not national champion. We're still considered the 5th best team in the country.
Look, in the same game with FSU was the other team that had a legitimate case, who was the 2-time defending champs, who got left out, and they showed up and kicked ass. And FSU shows up and looks like a bunch of pansies.
Okay. You exactly right. You are exactly right. You just made my point. Old school. You would have had your coach come in and say, "Hey, we're going to go against Georgia."
Kirby Smart said, "We showing up and doing that shit."
But you looking at the level of program. You look at the level of program. That says it all right there, Brad. The level of program in the coaching. The level of program in the coaching.
Smart said, "We're going to wipe the effing field with these people."
Okay, you're exactly right. What did Florida State? Florida State, he could not rally his troops. It's the difference between winning and losing and never being there before. They have never been there before. Georgia has been there, appreciated, and was going to go out the way they're supposed to go out, because they're winners. They're champions. Winners don't quit. Okay? But so when you get your feelings hurt, once again.
My point exactly.
So I You can't expect you.
We're not.
From
They're not.
teams.
We're going to get our. We've got our feelings hurt. We got our feelings hurt. That's what FSU was.
So see what I'm saying? See that's exactly what I'm saying.
You said
Kids
Georgia
got
was
their
winners.
feelings hurt.
FSU. Oh, we got our feelings hurt.
We're not gonna play. But here's the thing too. I can't fault
That's
those
what it
guys.
was. All right.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your point, but we're going to move on after.
I was thinking, I can't fault those guys. Some of them who had draft status, because now you're playing a game that it really doesn't mean anything to them, right? Now that might hurt them in their draft status because they were like, well, why you guys didn't play? I mean, you still was playing against the two-time national champion. So NFL scouts were going to be there anyway. So you were still going to get your look. You know what I'm saying? So it might question the competitive edge.
Was at one time, the Orange Bowl was one of the premier bowl. Like it's up there. It's one of the premier bowls. It wasn't like you were playing in the darn, I don't know, Holiday Bowl or something. I mean, you still got to show up and play. Is what I mean, and I understand a few NFL guys. I've said it all season long. I understand a few NFL guys. I understand that. That would have possibly happened anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on. I want to move on to finally gets the big win last night. This year, he won his first and second college football playoff game ever. And finally comes through in the clutch. Like I said, he didn't have to go through Georgia. He did have to beat Saban and Bama, which is not easy as well. I mean, Saban's right there too. So, you can't take nothing away from what Michigan did. And Harbaugh finally gets his win in his 8th year, I think, at Michigan. My question to you, Jason, is Harbaugh coming back or is he going to the NFL?
Man, to be honest with you, it's a situation how I feel that he has to come back to college because Brad, if anybody else was in Jim Harbaugh's position of what he went through, they would have been fired. Anybody else, from the Spygate, he had a Spygate situation. Then he had a recruiting violation. He's been hit with serious allegations and have walked away unscathed at all.
And still kept his team together. Playing the way they had, too.
Yeah.
Through all of it.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is he has 9 lives. 9 lives. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So with Harbaugh, I really think that he's going to come back because now that you won it, you really are in the driver's seat. Anybody who wins a national championship, obviously going to get paid more money.
But I'm going to tell you, his phone is ringing, man. I mean, the Los Angeles Chargers are calling him. The Washington Commanders, these teams are all changing names, and Commanders are calling him. But here's the one that makes me think he might. The Chicago Bears might call him. He was a Chicago Bear, just like he played at Michigan. And if he could turn the Bears around, he would be enshrined in the Hall of Fame with what he's done.
Let's ask Nick Saban. Let's ask any college.
Well, now, but wait a second. Harbaugh's been in the NFL. He took the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl already.
And he got fired.
but he took him to the Super Bowl.
And he got fired. I would stay in college.
You're right.
As long as I
He
want
did get
to.
fired a couple of years later.
You see what I'm saying? And he got fired. See what I'm saying? They love you, then they hate
Did
you.
get fired a couple of years later.
They love you, then they hate you, then they
I'm
love
not
you.
saying
then
he didn't. He did.
Did a hell of a job.
Yeah,
Did a hell of a job. Did a hell of a job.
In Michigan, he can stay after winning the title last night. He can stay at Michigan for the next 8 years.
He can stay within the next 8 years and name his successor and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to do that?
You're right about that. Absolutely.
It's peace of mind. You know, the NFL is ran by players, and college is ran by, the head coaches. Now the players, since the players getting paid now.
I mean, you're right. I think he should stay. The only reason why I think he might entertain all this, I feel like that the NCAA is out to get Harbaugh. I think they have been on him about everything, and there's something there, and they are just they're trying every way possible to get Harbaugh, and to knock him down a peg. Now, saying that, him winning the title last night, all of that was going on before Harbaugh won a title.
Right
now he's a national championship coach. So
well, I'll tell you,
I'm not so sure that they will do that as much now that he's a national championship coach.
I can say this then. If he has something to hide, and if he feels that the NCAA is out to get him and might get him, he might leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I make Joshua Hart. I believe you. I believe he can. He's won. He can ride to the sunset. But that sun was set in the NFL.
You're right on that.
I don't see too many people. There's only one person I've known had a job for 17 years without getting fired, and that's two people. That's Mike Tomlin and that's Bill Belichick.
Tomlin and Bill Belichick, but Belichick's on the table right now.
I don't think they're going to fire him unless they bring if they bring Vrabel back in to be his successor. Then yes, so I'm saying he just needs some help.
Yeah,
that's all. He just needs some help.
Well, I'm just saying, you're right about all that, and you take major chances in the NFL, and one bad season, and you get fired, and that's just how the ball rolls in the NFL. Josh, there is no damn way that I would, if I was him, that I would go to the Raiders. The Raiders are a haven for people who are going to get fired. There's no way. There's no way on this earth, if I was him, that I would go to the Raiders. No way.
Well,
I have to say that.
The Raiders are a good team. I think that they just need things simplified. That's all.
Man,
the
Raiders, they've ate up 7. I bet you 20 coaches in the last 30 years.
Well, let's break it down. Let's break it down, though, Brad. Let's break it down, Brad. They've had a bad string of bad luck. Wide receiver, DUI, kill someone. Sorry for Mr. Henry. Then you lose in a probe. Everybody email sent. John Gruden's email I sent and publicized. All right. Now you have Carr.
And there's tons of others. I know.
You had Khalil Mack. You let him go.
Jason, what I'm telling you is that crap just follows them.
Right.
They have a, you know what I'm saying? Like they just something about the Raiders.
Yeah.
And it's like a black cloud or something. I don't know. But I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
You're right.
So my next topic I want to talk about is the other coach from last night, and that's Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer, I think, is a great up and coming coach in college football. He's won NAIA titles, and in his second year at Washington, had them 14-0, and right there in the fourth quarter of the championship game last night. I really hope that he sticks around in college football for a long time. He's fairly young. He's like our age, in his 40s probably, Jason. And I hope he sticks around for a long time. He's actually somebody in the future that I wouldn't mind for this team.
Well, that's going to be hard.
You know,
one thing
at some point.
Well, Washington's going to throw the kitchen sink at them, and real estate property and investment.
Listen, I said future, Jason. I meant like 8 years.
This is what I meant future. That would be a lateral move. That would be a lateral move. Yeah, that would be a lateral move. I can see him going to the NFL.
He's a good coach. He really is.
He can always come back and get a college job. He can go scratch that itch and come back. You see what I'm saying? I just like it.
Harbaugh's already done that.
Yeah, I like it when coaches leave the NFL and come back. I like that. I like that because now the kids actually get the tutelage that they need. Then they get the verbiage that they need. So I'm a big, component of that.
All right, man. We're going to move on, and we're going to do a little bit of college basketball stuff. So the new polls come out yesterday. The top 7, I think, remain the same for the first time, I think, this year, I believe. The top 7 remain the same. It was Arizona at 8. I think Memphis at 9.
Memphis jumped up that far?
If you got your phone on you to pull it up, mine's on the charger, but I always go through
it up right now. I got it right now. Memphis is 13.
Go through the AP top 25.
Yeah, they 13. You got Purdue at 1, Houston at 2, Kansas at 3. You got 4 UConn. You got 5 Tennessee. You got 6 Kentucky. You got 7 North Carolina. You got 8 Arizona. You got 9 Oklahoma. You got 10. You got 10 Illinois. You got 11 Marquette. You got Duke at 12. You got Memphis at 13. Baylor at 14. Wisconsin at 15. Auburn at 16. A pretty surprising Colorado State at 17. BYU is at 18. San Diego State 19. Utah State is at 20. Clemson at 21.
Hey, the Mountain West is for real.
Yeah. 22 Creighton. They're back in the polls. You got Gonzaga. Florida Atlantic is dropping at 24, and Texas come back in at 25. So, from top to the bottom, man, it's college basketball. It's so much parity. You know what I'm saying? So much parity, and that's why you play the games.
Yeah. So we go through the polls each week. We've done it for football. Now we're doing it for basketball as well. So. That's the college basketball AP poll for this week. I can't remember. It's like week 8 of basketball, something like that. I can't remember now. 8 or 9 of college basketball. So the next thing we're going to do is, Jason, I'm going to do some pick sixes with you. Okay.
Gotcha.
So. The first, this is going to be college basketball stuff. We've kind of switched over to college basketball stuff. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna do some college basketball, some pick sixes with you, and let you kind of name some stuff. I might add one or two here or there or whatever, but I've done some of this. So I thought with you, Jason's the ex-college basketball player, D1 college basketball player. So get his expert opinion in here. So Jason, give me right now. We're in second games are starting. Kentucky, I think, beat Missouri a little bit ago, but second games are starting in SEC play tonight and tomorrow night. Give me your power six for our first pick six in the SEC in college basketball.
Man, SEC.
Yeah, give me your power six.
Ooh, power six. Well, I mean,
You don't have to be in order, man, but just six teams that you think are at the top.
16 that I think they're at the top. Well, I'm going to be honest with you because, I have to have facts in front of me. I go with Kentucky has to be up there. I have to say that, Kentucky, Tennessee, that's obvious. Or you could flip-flop them. Tennessee could be ahead of Kentucky by a smidget. I think you got Auburn.
I think that's the top three right now.
Yeah, that's top three. I would say Ole Miss, even though they got it handed to them.
In Knoxville, yeah.
I would. Yeah. I would say that you have to put. I would say you can either put Georgia or Alabama, or Florida or South Carolina, all in that last 5, 6 right there. So if I was doing it, I would do Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and I would do Florida. I would do Florida.
So I think my top 5 are close. I would have, of course, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Auburn. I think those are the top 3 right now, heading into the meat part of the SEC play. Mm-hmm. I mean, things can change pretty quickly, but I think right now that's the top 3. I would go Alabama and Florida, mm-hmm. and then maybe Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just think Alabama. Well, I can't say Alabama has played a mean schedule.
They have, and that's the reason why. They've lost several games by like 3-5 to some really, really good teams.
I can see that. I can see that. It's not bad.
Yeah. Florida played Kentucky like to the wire. Great. Actually, probably should have won the game the other day. They are a really good team. This Florida team is. They have some great guard play. Clayton Jr., they've got some really, really good guard play and got some bigs. I didn't realize, I watched a few SEC games over the weekend and tonight, mm-hmm. and there are so many teams in the SEC that's got like 7'3", 7'5" guys. Like what's going on? I've never seen that many like towering guys in basketball, much less SEC. Like Florida's got a big guy that's like 7'2" or 7'3". Kentucky's got some 7'1", 7. Ole Miss has got Sharp that's a 7'5". Missouri tonight had Vanover that's a 7'5" guy. I mean, where's all this high? Like, Jason, you're a tiny point guard. 7'5" is dwarfing you, man.
Well, like you said, hey, 2 feet. That's more than 2 feet taller than me. You see what I'm
that's crazy.
Man, you think about it, man. bigs are coming out of nowhere because one thing we're seeing is Vanover. He played in Arkansas, so I've been knowing about Vanover for quite some time. I've seen him so much, but the Wimbies and the Czechs, you see what I'm saying? So you're trying to see because they're revolutionizing the way we play the center position. You know, I think because there are no more centers. That's why Nurkic can just in the NBA. I know we're switching gears. That's why he's so dominant because there's no more true low post bag down centers. Now the 7-footers you see, they can shoot the ball or
they do in college ball too, but it's not quite as much in college ball as you see in the NBA and in international ball and stuff. But they do step out and shoot through. Vanover was shot a couple of threes tonight.
That's what he does. He's always shot threes. He was at Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean,
then he went to Oral Roberts, and then he's at Missouri now.
Yeah, now he's at Missouri. So but I didn't even know he was there. I had no idea until he comes out tonight. I was like, where the hell did he come from? Like, I didn't know he was at Missouri. I had no idea that he was even there, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, in the college game, they still guard a whole lot down low. So when you got 7'3", 7'5", when you got guys like that down low, man, I mean, there is so much height in today's college basketball game. I mean, Purdue, of course, has got Edey. I mean, there's so much height in today's game. It's unreal.
Even at Ole Miss, we wasn't having those 7'5" and 7-footers just on the bench. I had a guy who's 6'8". His name was Rashard Marshall. He played for me last year. He played for me a year ago. AAU, right?
6'8" guy played center for you, right?
6'8" guy. He's a beast, but he is going to get 7'5" and 7 foot every day. He can't even touch the floor. That's how it is.
I know, it's crazy. Man, it's crazy, Jason. I mean, the game has changed so much. And for me, it's like, where do all these 7'4" guys come from? Like, I remember a time in college basketball, if you could land a 7-footer or 7'1" guy, you had an absolute amazing advantage. I mean, like, and now we got a 7'1" Aaron Bradshaw on the floor tonight that's dwarfed by 7'5" Vanover. I mean, it's just like, it's insane.
Yes, man. But Kentucky now you guys got a big freshman down there who's pretty good. I mean, so he getting some size.
7-footers. And you would think 7-footers, wow, they're going to like be good and dominate. But when you go to play these games, you realize like Ole Miss, they got 7'5" Sharp coming off the bench. And I know him because he played at Western the last few years. And I'm right down the road from Western. So I know him really well. And also Cisse, what's he, 7'1", 7'2"?
Cisse, he's about 7'1". I mean, he was one of those top guys back in the day who came out, who was at Memphis, Oklahoma State.
I know. These players now, they play everywhere.
They play everywhere, man. Yeah.
All right, man. So we'll move on. Now, top 6 players to watch in college basketball. I know you hadn't been on the show, but who's some of your favorite players to watch in the game is what I think.
Man, now I hadn't seen a whole lot because I've really been into this NFL football. But of course, Edey is always one of those ones you want to watch. The kid out of North Carolina, I'm just talking about the veterans.
Which one? You talking about the big guy or are you talking about the guard?
Is it Baycock or Boca? What's his name?
Baycock.
But I'm going
to tell you right now, R.J. Davis on North Carolina is the guy to watch. That dude.
The guard. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. But
I love watching.
but
And I don't
think
like North Carolina at all, but that dude can play ball.
I think it's a guard from Oklahoma who's a freshman who's pretty good. It's a
Caleb
guard.
Love at Arizona. He transferred out. Caleb Love is at Arizona.
He's a vet. He's a vet. It's a what's the name? It's a little guard. At Oklahoma. Remember I told you that it's a guard at Oklahoma.
I seen him play one game. It was a game against Arkansas, but I can't remember his name.
He just started playing too. Guard who just got eligible. Yeah, it's some good guards out here that can really fill it up. It's some great guards. So
Javon Quinterly has turned Memphis around from Alabama, transferred from Alabama.
Another vet. But
He's pretty fun to watch. Quinterly's won the last 2 or 3 games, hit the shots. Like, he's really the one that turned Memphis around, I think. I think he's pretty fun to watch.
But like we say, we can go back and look. You got to look. You got to look. Kansas veterans. They have veterans. UConn. They have a veteran presence. It's hard. Kentucky is probably the youngest team.
They are
in the top 10.
They are. But I'm gonna tell you right now. Remember the name Rob Dillingham. This kid, he is so fun to watch. I mean, just tonight, he plays with such moxie and confidence, and he's an 18-year-old freshman, man, that just, I mean, he is so fun to watch. Now, I will, against Florida on the road in his first road environment, Dillingham struggled a little bit, and I'll be the first to admit it, okay? But in most of the games so far, I mean, he's something to watch, man. If he's not a top 10 pick in the draft next year, he's something to watch, I'm telling you. If you have not watched Kentucky a whole lot, Jason, the guy to watch, I'm telling you, is Robert Dillingham, and he comes off the bench. He don't even start.
Man,
Reed Shepherd's there too, and I'll give Reed all love.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you a short story about that young man right there. He
Dillingham?
played for Shepherd. He played for an AAU team called Midwest Elite. It's about 8 players. We're playing against them.
Jason, he's a coach.
We're playing against them. It's 8 of them out there. My team show up. We have a lot of height, and they looking down at that team. And it's an 8 a.m. game. It's an 8 a.m. game. 8 a.m. game. And so the director, me and the director, we know, like, hey, them guys can play, because you can tell how they're warming up at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
I want to say we lost about 40. They had 8 players, but the 8 players they had, they were in sync. And that whole
Did
time
Shepherd tell you up?
When that whole time up there, when they were playing, they were beating everybody. They only lost to Compton Magic. It was either Compton Magic or a team out of LA, because they were just so much bigger than them. But they were the talk of the entire AAU circuit up there that weekend. He put on a show.
Yeah.
On a complete, I mean, look.
Hey, Reed Shepherd's the real deal, man.
I'm gonna tell you what he is, and what we can't stress enough of. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner.
Absolutely.
I was on the couch watching them play against Florida, and I was telling my wife, I was doing that same thing. Getting 5 at the end of the game. I might have had 6 points.
Yep.
The whole game. But when it's time to get fouled,
finish with 14. Yep.
Let me get those. And I'm like, that's winning basketball.
Yep.
That's winning basketball. That's when and then he can make those tough threes. So I can see him. I can see him being the key factor in for being a key guy to make an NCAA deep run.
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Wagner,
I talked about Dillingham. I talked about Dillingham, and I said what I said about Dillingham.
He's a player.
But Reed Shepherd is the key guy.
He is.
I'm telling you, Reed Shepherd's the key guy. He's the one that's going to make the plays to get them over the top.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
If they do. I'm saying, if they do.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like I know, if your 6 or 7 guy can start on your team, you got some good players. Because he can easily sit Wagner down and start over him. He can easily do that.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Absolutely.
I'm not sold on Wagner. I think Wagner was used to attacking the rim so much in high school that he used his athleticism, So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I agree with you. We got Josh is a Kentucky guy on with me. So, he's talking about Shepard's dad, Jeff Shepard.
No argument. He's 1,000% right. 1,000% right. Yeah. It's in his bloodline.
Oh yeah, and his mom too. To be quite honest, Stacy Reed was a damn good player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, she was too. All right. So then the next one I want to ask you about is, give me a power 6 on the national stage. Who are you looking at as your top 6, your power 6 teams that you think have a legit shot? And if you want to throw a 7th in there, just to say, hey, I think there's one more or something, you can too. But who do you think has a legit shot right now, setting January 9th, 2.5 months out? Who do you think has a legit shot of making a Final Four run?
I think, I want to say Purdue, but Purdue's guards scare me. You see what I'm saying?
They're playing better. Braden Smith.
Their guards scare me. Houston, tough team. Wouldn't be surprised if they made it back to the Final Four. Wouldn't be surprised. Kansas. UConn, if UConn can stay healthy. If they can stay healthy.
If they can get their big guy back, I think they have a legit shot.
And I'm going to throw a dark horse in there, and I'm going to throw 2. I think Arizona has a good team.
I do too.
And I think Marquette has a team nobody wants to see come March.
Marquette's, their guards and their defense is crazy.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the key. Even one of those Mountain West teams. I think the Mountain West team, kind of like San Diego State last year, made that run. I wouldn't be surprised from one of those. But I think it's really going to boil down to this year, whoever stays healthy. Because sometimes one or 2 guys you lose could be the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I like those teams, what you said there. I mean, I think if you look at the AP poll, I really like the Arizona team.
Mm-hmm.
Lawson and Caleb Love and Ballo. They've got a really good team out there. I watched them the other night. They're just fun to watch. They score kind of like Kentucky does. They score 90-some points a game. They're just fun to watch. I really like them as far as a team that's, right now not in the top 5 or 6. Tennessee, they're there and they're great. They're a great defensive team. I can never get over the hump with Tennessee because Rick Barnes just hasn't been able to do it his entire career in the NCAA.
And that's the only reason why, because when they're at home, man, they're bullies.
I know.
On the road,
I know.
They don't play well on the road, and so until I see.
And sometimes Tennessee really struggles to score.
Yeah.
sometimes you watch them and they'll put up 80 or 90, and then sometimes they struggle to get 63 or 64. And that's the days when they're beatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when they're really struggling to score, that's the days that they're beatable. You know, so I think, of course, this Kentucky team has every shot in the world. The problem with Kentucky is college basketball has completely changed. We talked about the bigs and the way that they've changed. It's also a grown man's game nowadays.
I think,
you know,
and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I forgot to say this when you said that. And the college game is more grown men than the NBA.
it is. It is. You're absolutely right. Like, because the NBA has a bunch of 20-year-olds and stuff, you know, that's playing, and the college game is full of 24, 25, 26 years old, you know, that's been playing for 4, 5, 6 years. Some of these cats apply for a 7th year, 8th year. I mean, and they're getting it. I mean, like, you know, so I mean, I'm telling y'all that the college game is completely different.
Man.
Now, I give Cal credit. He did try to switch and go to a little bit older teams the last 2 or 3 years, and it hasn't really worked.
Well, I think
he hadn't made those runs.
Cal's best teams were young, talented,
uber talented,
but you had some vets.
Yeah,
kind of like this team right now.
Yes,
these are some
that's
vets.
exactly what I was going to say. He tried to mix it up the last few years, and it didn't work too well. And I have to give Cal credit. He went back to what was working in 12 and 15 and 11 and the John Wall year. And, you know what I mean? He went back to that. I mean, you go back to even his first year with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. He had Patrick Patterson and Darius Miller, and, you know, he had some vets in there that helped that team even that year. And he went back to what was working. The only problem with that is in today's game, back in 2012 or 2015, the college game was a lot younger because a lot of these kids were jumping pro. You didn't have this extra year. You didn't have the transfer portal. You didn't have, you know what I mean? So the college game back in 2015 was a lot younger. Now the college game's a grown man's game. Like it's a very experienced game, and Kentucky's got to go up and battle with 4 or 5 freshmen who have the moxie and the talent. But we'll see how that plays out once tournament time hits.
You know
That's
that.
all, you know.
You know that now. You know that now. That's whoever gets hot at the end of the year, who's ever playing their best ball. So, like I said, it's a lot. January, February is going to tell a lot. Towards the end of February, you're going to start seeing before this March hits for these conference tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun time of year. Jason, I'm glad you are back with me. Like I said, Jason's going to be on with us on Sunday and Tuesday when we do our Sunday and Tuesday shows. From here on out, for at least through basketball season, which will be, 1st of April, something like that. Jason will be with us through basketball season. He's going to be one of our basketball experts. He is, like I said, former D1 player, so it's glad to have Jason on. Not only that, Jason don't talk about it a whole lot, but he's also one of the SEC. What was it? One of the SEC top.
I don't know, some award that I got a long time.
Some award that you got, yeah, for being in the top, one of the better SEC players. Okay, so Jason's a humble guy, but I mean, he took Ole Miss to the Sweet 16. And Ole Miss doesn't have a history of making that all the time. And Jason and his teams did. They had some really good teams. So I got to give you some props and give you some credit for what you did.
I understand. Yeah, you got to make it look good.
Yeah. So, but we appreciate you being back with us.
Man, appreciate it, man.
So I do plan on having a Sunday show this week, and it'll be a weekend wrap-up show, kind of similar to this. But we'll spend it all on basketball because football's over.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, football's over. So,
NFL, you still got NFL going, but I know we college guys. So yeah,
NFL. Oh, I'll be watching Sunday because Green Bay's playing Dallas, and I hope they kick their ass.
Hey man, that's gonna be one-on-one. That's gonna be one-on-ones.
I'm a Green Bay fan, so I hope they kick their ass, and Hammonds would be livid if that happens.
Yeah.
So we will be back on Sunday. Probably am going to move the Thursday show. So I have a quick announcement I want to make. So I've been through Greenville Sports Media. I have been accredited for a media member for Kentucky women's basketball. So on Thursday night, I'm going to go to Rupp Arena and cover my very first women's basketball game at Rupp. It's at Rupp Arena, and it's Vandy, and Kentucky playing SEC game, and I get to go up there and sit courtside and cover the women's basketball game. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And on Thursday night, I get to do that. I can't wait to go. So I will probably move our game day pick'em show to a Friday night.
Man, that ought to be awesome, man. I mean, that ought to be a great experience for you, man. Hey, well deserved. I
actually got to go last month covering Furman, and I made a few contacts and worked some stuff out. And now I'm getting to go back to cover actually Kentucky, which is a huge, huge deal for me. I know, Jason, you know how much I'm a Kentucky fan. So, I mean, it's a huge deal for me to be able to do that, get my foot in the door. It's Kentucky women's team. It's not football, it's not men's basketball, but it is a very important, big sport. Women's basketball is probably in the top 3 or 4 for collegiate sports. And it's a big deal. So I'm excited about doing that.
Man, look, good deal. So, hey, yeah, like you say, big congratulations, man. I know how hard you work. I know how much you put in. And so, hey, not surprised at all. And I bet you'll have quite a few.
I was wondering, Josh says that Houston lost tonight. They were down. They were down to Iowa State, but I had to come on. And I didn't.
Watch this. Just like Florida Atlantic, they're in a different conference now. They're not running through. It's hard to win in Iowa State. It's hard to fly from Houston to Iowa and deal with that cold weather and come in that arena and So hey,
they're in a different. They're in the Big 12 now, and they're in a completely different conference.
League.
Yep. So Iowa jumped out on them 14-0 to start the game.
I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised.
I said Iowa. Iowa State jumped out on them 14-0. And he says Purdue is down 11.5. So just to give you guys an update on a couple of things, but before we go off, so I appreciate everybody being with us. Please go to homefieldapparel.com. There's over 180 teams that you can pick from. Use our code CSCast You can pick up any gear that you want for your team, your favorite team, and they got all kinds of stuff: throwback logos, retro mascots. They throwback teams. Throwback teams are like, say, the '96 national championship team for Kentucky, or some really good teams and stuff like that of the past. And I appreciate you being on, Jason. I will see you on Sunday.
All right.
And y'all have a good night.
Have a good night.